Don Van Natta, the Pulitzer Prize winner, joins us now, and he's very busy. He's a senior writer for ESPN, and he continues to investigate all of this stuff. This is just the beginning, isn't it, Don? This is about you guys. Now that you guys are sniffing around, this is about to get a whole lot worse.
Absolutely, Dan. Great to see you. It will get worse because there's a federal criminal investigation going on in Brooklyn, looking very closely at the NFLPA and the MLBPA. That's how I got started in this. I want to set the record straight a little bit about Pablo. Pablo did get that 61-page collusion ruling, which certainly intensified our investigation. But a month prior to that, Jeff Passan and I broke a story at ESPN that the NFLPA and the MLBPA are under criminal investigation for One Team Partners, which is this company that was co-founded by the two unions and Redbird Capital, looking into financial irregularities there. So that's when I first started getting interested. But no doubt, when Pablo got that 61-page collusion ruling that the union, literally Lloyd Howell, tried to bury with a confidentiality agreement that we reported with the NFL, then from that moment we did that story, I think it was 9 days from that story to when we found out about the strip clubs and Lloyd Howell resigned. It was quite quick.
What would you tell us is most important for the audience to know about your most recent reporting?
Well, the story that we did yesterday, that Kaylin Kaler and I did, is a deep dive, more than 3,000 words, that takes you inside how Lloyd Howell got his job. He was elected in the most secretive process in union history. The architect of that secret process was J.C. Tretter. J.C. Tretter was a former NFLPA president who then Lloyd Howell he created a new job for him, actually, called Director of Strategy. And interestingly, Tretter, as Director of Strategy, knew nothing about the collusion ruling and a lot of other things that were going on that Lloyd Howell was keeping from the players. So, Dan, you had a secretive election that put Lloyd Howell in the job, and then many decisions, as we laid out in our story yesterday, that Howell made kept the players in the dark, not just about the collusion ruling, but even after he got his job. And details came out about his previous work at Booz Allen, where he was the CFO and in charge of that company when there was one of the largest fraud cases of overbilling of the federal government. After he got his job, just 3 weeks later, a settlement was set between Booz Allen and the federal government. $377 million fine was paid by Booz Allen. And a month later, the Washington Post reported that a whistleblower at Booz Allen brought all this alleged fraud, turned out to be fraud, right on the desk of Lloyd Howell. And he said, nothing to see here. All that came out just within a few weeks of Howell getting his job. A top union lawyer wanted to tell the player reps who had just voted Lloyd Howell in that information, and they were never told. So time and again, inside the union, players, the entire membership, even the leadership, even J.C. Tretter didn't know what was going on. And so that's, I think, one of the biggest takeaways of yesterday's story that Kaylin and I did.
Zaz is a radio legend. He's an entertainer. I feel that he's getting a little bit bored when we get into the weeds here on some of this stuff. So, Van Natta, can you please impress Zaz and Chris Cody with, like, what are the dirtiest parts of this story? Like, what's coming next? Give them the dirty stuff. Like, impress us with, instead of union talk, try to entertain. You old-timey print journalists, guys, like, do a little clown dance for us and tell us where's the dirty, what's the worst of it, and what's coming next?
Well, certainly the strip club stuff, which we absolutely have to talk about, because that was really the end of Lloyd Howell's tenure. I had been hearing about a week earlier that he was going to strip clubs, taking employees at the NFLPA to strip clubs during events, and started chasing it. And literally in the course of just a few hours, last Thursday afternoon, we heard a lot of details about it, particularly the one which to me is one of the most astonishing things I've ever come across in my career. Lloyd Howell flew to Fort Lauderdale International Airport at 10:36. Got into a car hired by the union, and that car took him directly to Tootsie's Cabaret. Let me tell you what Tootsie's Cabaret is if you don't know. It's in Miami Gardens, Florida.
Oh, we know. We know.
Right there.
Oh, okay.
It's the biggest. It's the biggest. We know.
Solid spot.
Never seen it. What is it?
We know.
It's the largest in the world.
That's what they call themselves. Yep.
We know.
That's right. 76,000.
You're not
square
impressing
feet.
them, print guy. Listen,
All right.
the entertainers know what you're talking about.
Okay,
And Chris
good.
Cody and Zaslow, too.
All right. Well, what we found out, which Lloyd Howell, I don't think knew that we knew this, is that the car sat outside while he was in there through the night for 7 hours, because he got out about 5:30 and then the car took him to his apartment in Sunny Isles Beach at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. And here's the key to this. This was charged to the union. And I don't think Lloyd Howell knew that we even knew that and had the documents. And when he found that out, he didn't find that out, nor did the executive committee until our story came out the following day. But he knew the bad optics of that, as well as a visit in Atlanta to the Magic City Strip Club, which is quite famous in Atlanta.
Lemon wings, chicken wings, yeah.
Chicken wings are famous, right? A lot of rappers love that place. Right. And so those two visits on the expenses of the NFLPA were really the last straw for Lloyd Howell. So
Dan, that's some chutzpah. $700+.
It's just this. I thought that was the deal. I swear to you, when it happened, and Van Natta knew this when he wrote it. When I read $700 from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, and Van Natta, you can take us through this. You submit questions to get to Lloyd Howell that are going to say, why'd it take 8 hours? Why'd you go straight from the airport? And Lloyd Howell picks up the phone. He says, I resign. These are not questions I want. You asked very detailed questions that had him caught on, you spent $800 of union money with a car just sitting outside a strip club, and you went straight from the airport.
And it's not a long ride. It's not like it's a schlep.
No, it's a $40 Uber.
That's right. And this is a guy worth $100 million, and a $700 receipt cost him this job that pays him $3.4 million a year. And you're right, Dan, when I called them with those questions, I knew the answers to them because I knew I was going to get the document. I didn't have it yet, but I had it described to me and knew I was going to get it in a matter of a few hours. And Lloyd Howell resigned not knowing I was going to get the document, because then he went into an executive committee meeting, which is also kind of stunning. We reported yesterday. He basically sat down with the 10 guys that elevated him to the job, and they were still all in, begging him not to quit. He told them about the strip club, but not honestly. And he hung in there because I think he probably assumed correctly that we were going to get the receipts, and we got them and published the story the next day.
Can we agree that if you're at the strip club from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. and you're an adult, you're a loser? I mean, he's supposed to be a professional.
Or having a great deal of fun.
What about 12 to 6?
Come on.
Or having a great deal of fun.
8 hours?
It is a long time, but have you been to Tootsie's? Like, they're not profitable I haven't been. They're not profitable from midnight to 8 a.m. because it's not active from midnight to 8 a.m. Isn't it open 24 hours? Okay, there we go. I've lost all my credibility on this issue because I don't know anything about it.
It's not open 24 hours, no. I've heard.
Look, again, he wants to go to the strip club on his own time with his own money. I don't care. Nobody cares. Right? This is union money. These are union dues paid for by players that he used for this car service on a Thursday night. Okay? It was a school night, and Friday at 6 a.m. the car dropped him off at his place. And so the optics of that clearly were not good. And he knew that, and that was it.